con acido salicilico, glicolico e niacinamide, supporta il naturale rinnovamento della pelle. Per imperfezioni ridotte già dopo 7 giorni. Prova Nivea Peeling esfoliante notte. E per un risultato immediato, rimuovi i punti neri dalla zona T con Nivea Clear Up Strips.
È vero, non pensavo mi servisse Swiffer, finché non ho visto con che facilità raccoglieva i miei capelli dopo averli asciugati. Wow, cattura pure i suoi e basta un minuto. Guarda qui. E per spolverare, amo il mio Swiffer. Cattura la polvere senza spostare nulla. Non posso più farne a meno. Swiffer, se lo provi, ti cattura. Ti possono servire molti panni delle altre marche per pulire casa, ma con Swiffer Panni Cattura Polvere ne usi solo la metà. Risparmia panni con Swiffer.
E alle 14:39 torniamo in diretta con le immagini che arrivano da Londra. È finito il rientro della processione sul Gold State Coach. Re Carlo III e la regina Camilla si prepareranno poi ad apparire sul balcone di Buckingham Palace. Allora abbiamo assistito a tutta la cerimonia, a tutte le emozioni che poi sono state vissute dagli spettatori in maniera completamente diversa, perché noi stiamo continuando a leggere i messaggi, avete commentato più o meno tutto e c'è un sentire che a seconda di chi guarda poi viene letto in maniera differente. C'è però una cosa che non è sfuggita: a un certo punto, tra tutti i simboli di Re Carlo III, uno dopo l'altro hanno sfilato, alcuni li ha indossati, altri invece no. E allora due sono le annotazioni che ci fanno i nostri spettatori: uno sull'anello, perché Re Carlo non ha indossato l'anello, e il secondo sul guanto, perché il guanto che invece ha indossato è stato un guanto che la regina Elisabetta, per una serie di ragioni che Francesco Vicario ci spiegherà nel dettaglio, ha dovuto modificare.
L'anello è stato soltanto toccato dal sovrano.
Un danno.
Come ho vinto questo premio insieme al mio gatto? Così. Su eBay ho preso una sports cam ricondizionata per me. Ma poi, idea. E se la usasse lui? Che sia nuovo, usato o ricondizionato, lo trovi su eBay. Un'altra storia. Su Amazon trovi i prodotti che ami a prezzi che amerai ancora di più. Così potrai picchiare sui bassi, non sul tuo conto in banca. E gustarti la miscela perfetta al prezzo perfetto. Con le tue recensioni stellari e le nostre offerte stellari, inizia subito la tua ricerca su Amazon.
Siamo un'agenzia di spionaggio. MI6.
Ti sembro forse una che gioca nelle serie minori.
Dietro di te. È piuttosto facile.
uno non può mai essere sicuro di quello che succederà sulla balconata finché i reali non escono sulla balconata. Questa è un vecchio adagio che vale sempre.
E ci stiamo ormai avvicinando. Io non so cosa darei per essere in quella carrozza, una mosca. Come re e regina in questi ultimi anni, in questi ultimi mesi in particolare, e sicuramente anche gli outfit hanno aiutato, outfit che spesso matchavano nei colori, nel taglio, eccetera, insomma, e quindi è stato molto apprezzato l'abito di Camilla oggi.
Ecco, vediamo nel frattempo i reggimenti schierati. Abbiamo visto appena adesso inquadrata la principessa Anna, il cui titolo diciamo formale è Princess Royal, quindi
Headdress! Charlie! 3 cheers for His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Queen! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! The parade will replace headdress! Replace! Headdress! Charlie! Those! Quick! March! Charlie! Those! Quick! March!
back inside, sadly. So now I am sleeping in the same house as him.
But next is...
So yeah, next, hopefully, will be... I'll be getting a chance to pitch my tent and camp for the night around every Premiership rugby club and try and raise money for the local hospice.
And Dad, just before I let you go, because it's really noisy for you there as it is for us here, what memory will you take home with you, apart from how proud you are, obviously, of your boy, and, you know, he's a household name now, how cool is that? But also, being in the Abbey to see a king and a queen crowned.
It was just so... There were so many times I could have burst into tears for the sheer emotion of it. I thought the whole service was fantastic. Music was fantastic. Saying the oath and then singing the national anthem at the end was just... Oh, those will never leave me. And again, but with my boy, which was the best bit.
It's so lovely of you to take the time to join us. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, as we see the police service made up of not just the Metropolitan Police, of course, but police officers from right around the country, slowly guiding the crowds down the Mall, down to Buckingham Palace, where we will see the King and Queen, along with other members of the royal family, on the balcony very shortly, ahead of a 60 aircraft 6-minute fly past. Bring that to you live here on Sky News. Before that, though, Peaches Golding, Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of the County and City of Bristol, is with us. Hi, it's so noisy, isn't it?
But the bells are just wonderful.
I love bells.
Oh, yes.
I love the peal of bells. What was it like inside?
Do you know, it was electric. You could feel the weight of the service on the King. It's solemn, albeit joyful. And you could see, you know, when the crown went on his head, as well as when the crown went on Her Majesty's head. Oh, didn't they just come to life? Weren't they just fabulous?
And what was the atmosphere like inside?
It was very amazing. Because at first, I mean, we had to arrive quite early.
Yes.
So we had an opportunity to meet people that were sitting beside us, people who had received particular honors, or maybe they were peers, or all types of people. And that really encouraged us a lot.
Yes.
And then when the service started, the music came. The music was just so beautiful. You know, 5 pieces in the introduction were written specifically for this service. And they were wonderful. We had ancient and old music. We had very modern music. We had music representing the 4 nations, music representing the Commonwealth, voices of the world. That was fabulous, because if you knew some of the music from different countries, you could actually hear it being played and interpreted. It was really wonderful.
Absolutely. You are very lucky to be inside. These people heading up the Mall as we speak. I've been in the rain. It's been absolutely chucking it down.
Oh, has it really?
You've been in there, but nevertheless, it's not dampened their spirits. They're heading up to Buckingham Palace to see the King on the balcony. I believe the Queen, actually, when she was crowned, did that 6 times. The last time was at midnight. One wonders how many times the King, now a septuagenarian, might have the strength to do that. I mean, it was a challenge.
He's a very strong man. You realize that most mornings he gets up and he goes on a quick march, really, really fast. A few people can keep up with him, actually, when he goes on his morning walks. He's a very, very fit man.
Okay. We will let you go and warm up and have a nice cup of tea. It's good to talk
Thank you.
to you.
It's lovely to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much indeed. One wonders how people were filling the time, Anna, while they were waiting for the King and Queen to arrive. Some of them spending many hours inside the Abbey. Apparently, the Queen is a big fan of doing Wordle every morning. I wonder if she had a 5-letter word beginning in Q, she might get it.
Kay, absolutely. Even I got that one. Thank you very much indeed. Just an update, in fact, on the fly past, the coronation fly past, this from the Ministry of Defence. They are saying that due to unsuitable weather conditions, that the coronation fly past will now be formed of helicopters and the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. The fly past will last for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So before, it was made up of more than 60 aircraft and was due to last 6 minutes. So if you were hoping to see, for example, a Lancaster from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, 2 Spitfire from the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, and 2 Hurricane as well, also from data from the Battle of Britain. I'm afraid you will be disappointed. There will still be plenty to see. So an adjusted fly past because of the weather, 2 minutes 30 seconds, and it will be formed of helicopters and the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows, who are always, as we know, marvellous to watch. Look at them now, they're coming down. They have been waiting a long time for this. They are waving, their flags are waving from all over the world. It looks like, does it not? A moment they move forward because it is nearly time for the balcony. Who's going to be out there? This is our first chance to get a glimpse of what the shape of the royal family is in the reign of King Charles III. The balcony has been ready for some time, as we know, and we also know that right behind those windows is a building site. If they come out having tripped and dusty, then we know why. They are removing Indian rubber from the electrics. It's a massive 10-year project at great expense, and it's moved to the front facade of Buckingham Palace, and behind there is not a very habitable area. That's what we've been told by the palace. Well, let me bring in now our royal correspondent, Laura Bundock, Patrick Harrison, who was press secretary to the King for 15 years, and Colonel Dame Kelly Holmes, Olympic gold medalist, obviously, and honorary colonel of the Royal Armoured Corps Training Regiment. Very good to have you all. First of all, Laura, what a day. So many parts to it. What would you pick out, though, as your highlight for now?
I think looking at the King and the Queen as they walked into the Abbey, you could see the burden of the day, but the size of the moment, couldn't you? On both of their faces, particularly, I think, Camilla, and sat through that service, you could see it lift, couldn't you? As they went through this carefully choreographed ceremony, step by step, each bit of regalia, you could feel that pressure that had been sat on their shoulders for all these months was lifting. And then the moment when they left the Abbey, got into the uncomfortable but the very splendid Gold State coach, you could see that this was a moment, and they were owning that moment, were they? But you could, I think, particularly when we saw the Prince of Wales do homage, I think that was the moment for me where I saw the real emotion in the King's face, his own son there, as he bent down and kissed him on the face, particularly.
And there was certainly a smile, was there not, from Prince William? Not many smiles apart from that. And there was one point when he was holding the 2 sceptres, the sceptre with cross and the sceptre with dove, and King Charles just shut his eyes. And as you say, you know, the sense of the moment today. Camilla, a smile later on. She certainly smiled at her children, who were sat in the front row in Westminster Abbey. And Patrick Harrison, we know that he's a sensitive man. You know, he's thought long and hard about what he wants the monarchy to be. He has been, as I put it earlier, an apprentice for so many years. What does he want now, do you think? Because he's been anointed. He wears the crown. He's allowed to wear the crown for the first time. So what now for him?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because people say that he's been waiting for this moment all his life, and that's true. But he's also been Prince of Wales for 50 years, giving fantastic service to this country in that role, as has the Queen in her previous role as the Duchess of Cornwall. So he wants an institution, a monarchy that has value, that serves, that helps to make not only this country, but the other realms and Commonwealth nations, and dare I even say the world, a better place. And everything that motivates him is to bring people together, as this day is doing, and unify and unite, and try and provide that constitutional glue, if you like, which is so unique to this country and a day like today, and to continue to have value on into the future.
Yes, he once said, did he not, that he thought it would be criminally negligent if he didn't take action in the communities that he visited, that he wants to see change and he wants to, you know, commit himself to change. But, Colonel, I have to say, it's this that you've really enjoyed, is it not? Absolutely loving it, you have.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so overwhelmed. I mean, I think the coronation is a historic milestone because it's a union of the Commonwealth. The union and the Commonwealth are joined in celebration, of course, and the King now is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. So again, we've got Royal Navy, Royal Marines, we've got the Royal Air Force and the British Army, and he takes great pride, as the Queen did, in serving as chief commander. So, you know, when I see this is what we are all about. You know what I mean? Everybody takes great pride in seeing the ceremony, don't they? You know, the work that goes into the preparation. Let's not forget, we've got 7,000 military involved over the weekend, 4,000 in that procession. You know, they work extremely hard to bring this together, and don't they look fantastic? It's great pride.
And what many people will have forgotten about you is that actually you joined the army first, didn't you? In fact, I say first, you've just told me you were a nursing assistant before that. So you know what life of service is, and it's still very important to your soul, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you pledge allegiance to the crown. So of course now all the armed forces have pledged allegiance to our king, and it sticks with you forever. So I joined when I was 17, nearly 18. I was in for nearly 10 years. And then I was appointed Honorary Colonel with the Royal Army Corps Training Regiment, as you said, in 2017. So for me, it's like in my DNA to still be involved, and to, you know, the hairs go up on my arms as soon as I see those positions. It's very, very special.
It's been inclement weather, and yet that will not have detracted from the pride that we've seen. All these people are still in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. Try to explain how those people who've been involved in that will be feeling as we watch the crowds begin to fill the mall and come forward. They'll be at us very soon, I think.
It's a magical scene, isn't it, when you see them all coming down the mall, and you know, to see so many people still come out in all weathers. I think that says it all. I just think that, you know, everyone are worried, what will happen? Are we proud of this moment? Will people be watching? Of course they will. This is historic. You know, how many of us were here when the Queen came to coronation? Not that many. And so for me, this is so special, and I think it says it all, that we are united. We are part of the Commonwealth. We see all these different faces, all these different nations coming together. And, you know, I think it's something that none of us will forget, ever.
Well, certainly history seeped through all of that. King Charles, the 40th monarch to be crowned in Westminster Abbey, the 7th to wear the crown of St Edward. Heavy as it is, they didn't like moving in that, did they, Patrick? You saw the nervousness, and actually you saw Camilla's eyes following Charles as he moved, with that sense of fear in case something went wrong.
Yes, it was lovely, the glances between the two, actually, throughout the service, encouraging each other on. But also, I think we saw the Queen look as the King was crowned, thinking, oh gosh, it'll be me next. And certainly when the King was helped out of the coronation throne, kept his back very straight, didn't he? Didn't want to make sure that the crown didn't topple at that moment. But look, it went off fantastically, seamlessly, as of course it was always going to, with so much preparation. And as Dame Kelly has just mentioned, in terms of the armed forces, all the others who are involved in a day like this, everybody from all the backstage people as well, and everybody that's involved, it's a cast of thousands to make this historic day work so brilliantly as it has done so far, regardless of the weather. The weather really doesn't matter a jot. The enthusiasm outside here is palpable, and the crowd absolutely loving a day which really just seems to keep giving and giving, doesn't it? We've had an incredibly poignant religious service. Now we've got the pomp and the pageantry of the march past, and we've still got the balcony moment to come and the surge of the crowd down the Mall. So still lots to look forward to.
Yeah, not long now. We know that the royal family will come out at the appropriate moment, as told by the Ministry of Defence. It's all very well organised, as we know. But who comes out? And there was one moment during the service, Laura, where we had King Charles, we had the Prince of Wales, and we had young Prince George there, the page. And it feels like the monarchy's mapped out. We've seen the Mall with the flags of the UK, the United Kingdom, and the realms. Who knows what happens with the realms now? But in terms of the legacy of the royal family, it was there today, and the balcony will tell us the shape of this family going forward.
That's what it's all about. It is about continuity. It is seamless. there is no point where we don't have a monarch. There it goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And this is a really unusual coronation and ceremony in that we can see the physical embodiment of that. And I was looking at Prince Louis, who is only 6 months older than the king was when he watched his own mother crowned, and he's a grandson. And so it was interesting looking at that dynamic as well, wasn't it? But little George there solemnly kind of carrying the robes and performing that duty, and you wonder, was he thinking, that's me one day, someone will be carrying my robes, it'll be me sat in this very chair.
And you had that sense, did you not, as Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, said to Prince Charles back in 1953, try to remember this day. You feel like that was also happening to Prince Louis and Prince George. Now, moving along through that crowd, one hopes is Sarah Jane Mee as the crowd floods forward. Sarah Jane.
Yes, Anna, the Mall is officially open. Look at this stream of people. These are the people that have been camping for days, getting their moment to walk up to Buckingham Palace. We've been talking to people here who, as I said, are the coronation campers, and they have said it was totally worth the wait. Let's bring in Nicola and Paula. Nicola and Paula, come over to me, because I want to see all these people streaming in behind us. And you're the coronation campers. You were here overnight. Tell me, was it worth the dark, cold night, all the rain, to see what you witnessed this afternoon?
Absolutely, yes. It's been something, every time we watch it on the television, we say we wish we were there. So this time we said we're definitely going to be there, so here we are.
Can I ask what you saw, what your favourite moments were?
Oh, just seeing all the soldiers, the army, the navy, the air force, and then of course the great carriage at the end. It was fantastic. Sadly, I missed Princess Anne, so I'm going to have to watch it again on TV and take a picture of it for
You can always watch it back on Sky News. There's always that. But in terms of the crowd here on the Mall, obviously there were no big screens here, but you could hear the service. There was a moment where people were asked to say an oath, and it was quite difficult for people because they didn't have the words in front of them. But tell me what happened. Oh, hang on a minute.
I downloaded the whole service paper before we came. So we had a soggy copy, didn't we? But it was very good because we followed the whole service. So word for word.
You were able to say the oath?
We did say the oath, yes.
And there were cheers as well, weren't there? When, the king was crowned, and the moment where he came out of the Abbey, even though you couldn't see the pictures, the crowd were following it, whether it was on phones, through the order of service and sound as well. What was that like?
Oh, it was really, really atmospheric. A few of us a bit teary, really. Yeah, I get teary now. It was lovely. It really was. And it's just, we were here. So it's fantastic.
And now the Mall is open. The royal family, we understand, will be coming out onto the balcony. The King and Queen at 2:30 with the fly pass. Are you going to head down to the front?
No, probably the back. We've been lucky. We've been almost at the front the whole day, so it's been a bit squashed. But
Okay.
no.
Well, we want a cup of tea. Just want a cup of tea. Don't want anything alcoholic, just a nice cup of tea.
I'm with you. We've had
your shoes off.
Yeah, we've had quite the soggy day, haven't we? But as you said, it's been worth it. Ladies, enjoy the rest of your day. You can see behind me the swarms of people that have been coming down the Mall. They are trying to get up the front to Buckingham Palace. As we said, the King and Queen will be taking to the balcony at around 2:30 with other members of the royal family. And of course, there's that fly past. Because of the weather, it has been pared back. Just the Red Arrows and helicopters. I say just the Red Arrows. That's spectacular enough. But we'll continue to talk to members of the crowd. I'm about to get swept away. Such is the enthusiasm. Anna, back to you.
Happy sweeping. Yes, thank you very much indeed, Sarah Jane. Yeah, the Royal Air Force aerobatics team, known as the Red Arrows, will be flying past Buckingham Palace shortly, and so will the helicopters taking place. That's Junos, Wildcats, Merlins, Apaches, Chinooks and Pumas. But I'm afraid if you were hoping to see some of the Battle of Britain Memorial flight aircraft, Lancaster, Spitfires, Hurricanes, you will be disappointed. The weather has not been kind, as you can see from those umbrellas. It has not dinted their enthusiasm, though. They have now reached the Queen Victoria Memorial right behind us. First come, first served here, I'm afraid. Who gets closest to the balcony? And we can see the Royal Standard flying above the palace. It's really a wonderful atmosphere here. And they will be soon what those members of the royal family, King Charles, Queen Camilla, will look down upon from the balcony. We wait for that moment, don't we? and the grandstand is cheering the arrival of the Mall crowds. It's the battle of the crowds, I think, now. The grandstand, remember, the 3,800 invited people. They are veterans, they're health workers, they're social care workers, they're charity representatives who have connections with the royal family. They are wet, they're in plastic, to be fair, and they have loved every minute of it. A round of applause. They're waving at us. Let's wave back, shall we? Lovely. The cadets who've helped bring the crowds down, having a good wave at us here. And they're running. Can you see that? Absolutely brilliant. The crowds are running. As I said, it's first come, first served. They've reached this area and they're desperate to get somewhere they can see. And clearly the Queen Victoria Memorial is a bit of a block to the main event, which is seeing the royal family in the balcony at Buckingham Palace.
Sprinting down the Mall. You can hear the excitement behind us.
There are whoops, aren't there, Dame Kelly? Absolutely extraordinary for some of these people. The umbrellas aloft, but so keen to get down and get closer to the palace.
Yeah, you can hear the enthusiasm. You know, they're so excited. This is the moment. Remember, you've got all ages there. You've got people running, they've all got their outfits, they're screaming, the flags are flying, the umbrellas are waving around, they're sprinting, they've all got their trainers on ready for their moment.
There's a lovely moment there where a chap suddenly saw some space and open up in front of him, and he knew he couldn't completely run, but did a very, very fast walk to just get into that bit. Wonderful enthusiasm.
It's like a shriek of excitement when you suddenly realise that you're liberated to have a job.
Yes.
They give Dame Kelly a run for their money, don't they, actually? The speed of that kind of pace. I mean, we know that the ones at the front are the ones who've waited longest because they open it up chronologically. So that front line there know what they're doing. I'm sure a lot of them would have been at the Jubilee last year. They know how to get the top spots, and they will not let anyone get in their way to get there.
They're coming down in their droves. I mean, look, they're just coming, flowing down. I think it's a magical sight. And I hope the Queen and King are very happy with
it's
the
a brilliant
turnout.
atmosphere, isn't it? They're all so enthusiastic, and we can see families there, some children, we can see most people ditching their umbrellas, actually, just wanting to get to the front.
The umbrella is slowing you down, absolutely. This is such an iconic moment, isn't it, the balcony show? We've seen it post-war.
Yeah.
We've seen it for weddings, for jubilees, and it is something that the public love to be part of. And presumably the royal family, you know, they have the sense of the importance that the people hold them and the esteem with which the people hold them when they see the crowds. And it's, you know, it's part of a way of, you know, it's cementing the royal family in the minds of people, isn't it?
No, it really is. That interaction that we've just seen with the military is incredibly important, but also important is this interaction with the public as well. And as you say, Anna, this is soon to be another iconic balcony moment, and that relationship with the public is so important for the monarchy today and as it moves forward.
Well, Alistair Bruce has joined us. This is a day of many parts.
It certainly is.
We've had the procession outward. We've had the extraordinary service, so religious, so deep felt, and then the military pageant, and now we have the people.
It's really important that this element is given full voice, and they're unbounded now, and they're given the chance to come in and see and witness their king anointed, crowned and enthroned, and return to his palace. And I think that, you know, despite the rain, it really is long to reign over us, and you know, the chance for everyone to get involved in this, and you can still see that the ceremony maintains to the end. You can see below the balcony the salute ready for His Majesty and the Queen when they come out. And yet, you know, when the aircraft fly over, and some are going to be there and some aren't, depending upon the security of the time, it's just going to be celebration. And that's what it's about, Anna.
And just remind us, he comes out, or their majesties come out, wearing what?
Their Majesties, it's a matter for the King, but their Majesties will come out in their crowns without the other objects of regalia, and then the King and the Queen are free to wave. They'll probably, maybe, come out on their own first, then they'll bring out, I'm sure, the Prince of Wales, Princess of Wales, and the King's grandchildren, and then, you know, maybe the rest of the royal family, the working party of the family, will come out too. But you know, that balcony has seen a great deal of history. The first person there was Queen Victoria, who waved at the troops coming back from the Crimean War. And when you think how extraordinary it is that Europe is again facing the danger of war in that same part of the world, it just gives you a sense that we witness history and we're living it today. This is our story. The coronation, which this year in this country is 1,050 years old, and it's been delivered perfectly again.
King Charles masks lifted for the cameras there. They're waving, obviously trying to say hello to people back home who may know that they have headed in to come here for this historic moment. The first coronation for 70 years, and the people here are here to enjoy it. Okay.
Okay. Joanna Lumley's still with us. Joanna, you were lucky that these poor people got stuck in the rain, but you were lucky enough to be inside.
I know.
The Abbey, the bells still pealing, waiting to see the King in a moment or two.
It's terribly exciting, and to have that vision of the huge mall filled with people gradually filtering out around the Victoria Memorial, gradually getting closer and closer to the palace, so you get a good view of the great balcony. It's so funny how such a small thing can have such an extraordinary potency. The balcony there, we can see it with the red there, and we know that just there they're going to be coming out, and the crowd can acknowledge the King.
We can see that the curtain's twitching, and so we're expecting a moment or two. I was in the palace last week, and they were saying behind there, of course, that is where they open the door, the royal family gather, open the doors, out they come. But it's a building site at the moment. That's where they're doing all the refurbishments. So they've had to be very careful, put a temporary floor in and everything.
Oh my Lord.
Now, what about the flight path? Sadly, it's had to be scaled down.
Well, I completely understand that, and I hope people do also understand that it's for safety reasons. But helicopters are always very powerful little creatures, and the red arrows are unbeatable. So this is wonderful. It's a sort of a doffing the hat.
Yeah, indeed. So that should happen in just a moment or two. In fact, that's the King's helicopter. Yeah, exactly so. And we'll go down to Sarah Jane, who's with the crowds, in just a second. But before we do, people who weren't listening or weren't with us earlier, the highlight for you inside the Abbey.
Just the extraordinary moment, actually, when the Archbishop shouted, "God save the King," and we all shouted, "God save the King," because it was on our orders of service. And here he is, they've come out. Listen to that noise.
for the King and Queen looking down the Mall and seeing this extraordinary number of people. And now the first part of the fly past approaches. There will be 6 waves. There will be no fixed wing aircraft due to the conditions, but the first wave will be 3 Juno HT-1 helicopters making their way towards a salute to His Majesty the King. And the second wave, a Wildcat helicopter, flanked by 2 Merlin Mark II helicopters. Wave 3, a Wildcat helicopter Mark I with 2 Apache helicopters, which of course have immense capability on the battlefield. And Wave 4, a Wildcat helicopter Mark I with 2 Merlin Mark IV helicopters. And finally, massive, burdensome aircraft, the 3 Chinook helicopters with 1 Puma HC-2. And it'll take a few minutes for them to clear safely out of the way and off to the right and over to North London. And then we expect to see the Red Arrows, who will distribute, like so much of today, red, white and blue. And here they come. Almost hazy out there, but they'll suddenly put the dye into their afterburn and you'll see the red, white and blue salute to the King and Queen. There we go. After the salute in the garden, the salute from the sky, and the salute from the people who've gathered here before Buckingham Palace, a huge assembly of people from all over the world and from across the United Kingdom who are really enjoying this and look down the Mall. The national anthem over the King and Queen waving goodbye as they will now leave the balcony. They've got either side of them the pages of honour who carried the trains of both the King and the Queen. Family members all watching and enjoying this amazing sight. family returning into the centre room, as it's named. Pages have got a very big job making sure the trains are not trodden on and are lifted. And most of the front of the palace is a building site inside, so there's been a special route made through for the king to return, to have lunch, and there are photographs. And for him, that's the last we will see of the king and queen for the moment.
Unless the crowd demands them back. I don't know. That's the hope, of course, isn't it? Because that's what happened in the Queen's coronation back in 1953. And in fact, Alistair, she came out later in the evening, didn't she?
Yes, they came out after dinner. Of course, they changed for dinner rather wonderfully, the late Queen. But we'll see what happens. I think that the King will have had a very long day of that, and the Queen also. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure on you to get everything right, all the choreography. And no foot shall slide, a little bit of a sneak through the windows there. But I reckon that's now closed. We'll see what happens. It depends on, as you say, the crowd.
And I asked if there was going to be that Cecil Beaton moment, that famous photograph of the Queen back in 1953. And something like that may appear. We will get photographs, we understand, tomorrow evening. It'll be a time-consuming business to get all of this, because this is for the Royal Archive, isn't it?
Yes, Hugo Bernand has photographed the King on many occasions and the Queen, so there is that rapport, which I think is so essential. And we're hearing the armed forces moving away again. I get really excited about this, as you know, Anna, because they've worked really hard. They got up jolly early. They all came in on trains to Waterloo Station, and this will be the next lot of troops leaving from the front of the palace to make their way back to Waterloo Station and out of London again. It's been a marvellous day. The King's coming out again, isn't he?
I think so.
Gonna come?
Yeah.
Yes. Coming. Fantastic.
They're bringing all the pages out again.
Including, of course, Camilla's grandchildren, who are very much involved in this service and the day.
Well, the thing is, if you've got a long robe on like that, Anna, you cannot just walk away. You need help. And I think for the King and Queen who've taken another wave, they need a bit of help to get back off the balcony.
There was a quick about turn from some of the people who started to move up Constitution Hill. As soon as they saw that they were on the balcony again, they were back, stopped, reversed. As soon as there's a wave, there's a cheer.
And as the doors close, Anna, within days, probably within the rest of today, the regalia, including the imperial state crown we saw the King wearing there, what he was invested with in Westminster Abbey will be returned to the Tower of London, put back into the secure part there and available for everyone to go and see. But they've been given another chance to do what they are symbols to do, and that is to remind a new monarch of their responsibilities, what he is to do, how he is to serve, and he has dedicated himself today.
And Westminster Abbey itself opens again, I think, on Monday. Again, we urge people to go and have a look around that. It is quite extraordinary. You gave us a tour, for which we're very grateful. There are all these palaces and historic buildings that are connected with the royal family, which are really worth a visit. They're educational, they're historic. It shows the longevity of the monarchy in this family, which is something that we've really sensed today.
Well, we've been connected with so much royal history, with biblical history too, in an extraordinary way in which the world has witnessed that the United Kingdom installs its head of state. It seems to have taken, for many people, quite a long time since we saw the late Queen die, but the ceremonies we saw then were in sadness. The thing about a coronation is it's in joy, and that has been witnessed today. And I think, you know, all that magical history, much of which maybe people didn't understand, but if you unwrap it, we have seen him given symbols that are very good guidance to anybody who's in a position of leadership. And I think the King, who spent a lot of time studying what it all means with the guidance of the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Dean of Westminster, both of whom supported him in his preparation, and the Queen's, it's been a huge success today. And I think the Earl Marshal and the Royal Household and the armed forces who delivered this, they've just done their best. I think they want you, Anna.
No, let's wave to them. Let's have everyone a wave. Absolutely, it's lovely. They're all waving. It's absolutely. I still want one of their crowns, I have to say. But anyway, SJ's there. Where is she? Where is she? Let's go to you. Where are you? There you are.
Anna, I can see you. I can see you. Hi.
I'm looking for you, SJ. Where are you?
I'm right in the middle. Here I am. I walked up the Mall with everybody that camped out overnight. I feel really bad, like I jumped the queue, but it was all for journalistic purposes, because I wanted to speak to people who were here, who saw the new King and Queen on the balcony. Amongst them, Becky from Birmingham camped out overnight. Oh, Jackie, I beg your pardon, Jackie. There's so many people today. And Jackie, talk to me about what it was like. Everybody surged up very calmly, but very excitedly.
Well, we were a bit worried because we were being let onto it quite late, and we thought we would be able to get through, but actually it's worked out really well.
And what did you see?
So we've been at the saw the procession going up, and then came back, saw the procession coming down with all those wonderful carriages. It's just like Cinderella, wasn't it, seeing them all. And then we were able to see on the big screen the actual coronation ceremony, which was good. And the one thing I really wanted to see was them on the balcony. So with a bit of a fly past, coming past and coming down, it's been great. It's been a wonderful day.
And I did hear at the start of the day that when it was the coronation of the Queen, she came back onto the balcony more than twice. I think it was 3, 4, 5 times she came back out. So we might yet see them again. We've seen them twice already, but you never know. And hello, Your Majesty. Very, very, very regal. I love this. Did you make it yourself?
I did. I crocheted it, yeah.
How long did that take?
3 days. I was on a mission. I needed to spare, so yeah.
And what's your name and where have you come from?
My name's Sonia and I'm from Gloucester.
And Sonia, like Jackie, you camped out overnight. Was it worth it?
Yeah. I arrived yesterday, 4 o'clock, knew nobody, came up on my own and met a lovely bunch of people. We just all bedded down, shared food, songs, stories, and and looked after one another overnight. It was lovely.
With that hat, you were beg your pardon, that crown. You were bound to make friends. And what have been your favourite bits of the day so far? Because so much has happened. You were literally right on the front row on the Mall, and now you're right in front of Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, it was lovely. I mean, we had a really good spot for the procession. And honestly, you need to see it to believe it. The carriage was just divine. And I was just in awe of it. It was fantastic. The rain just didn't bother anybody. We all had a really lovely time. Yeah,
a real unique day and a moment in history. This young man behind you, you've been here as well. How long have you been here waiting?
Probably for a few days. I came yesterday afternoon at around 4 o'clock-ish. We thought we'd just camp out on our chairs overnight, and yeah.
Was it worth the wait? Was it worth the cold, the dark, the rain?
100% worth the wait to see this once-in-a-lifetime experience making history.
The coronation campers, the quiche eaters, the flag wavers. How much have you enjoyed today?
I've loved every second of it.
detect an accent there. Where have you come from for today?
Miami, Florida.
You made the journey especially?
My cousins are going to be here later on, but they were getting here today, and I said, if I'm going to go, I'm going to see this. My mother met my father here, so it's special to me.
If you're going to do it, you're going to do it properly. Look, I can see some Union flag hats. Glasses as well. Can I come over and talk to these ladies? There you go. If you're going to shout on the telly, I'm going to talk to you. Talk to me about your day.
Oh, it's been so good. Yeah, loved it. We got here at 3 o'clock this morning. Yeah, it's been fabulous. Where's your props?
Well, do you know what? I've got a little headband here. I thought I'd get it. Hang on, here's my prop. Have you seen my trainers? Have we seen these on camera yet? Can we get down that far? There you go.
How low can you go?
There you go. So I've got into the spirit of it as well. And just your favourite bits of the day, just finally, because obviously we've seen the King and Queen on the balcony, we've seen the fly past, the day's winding up essentially when it comes to the official bits. I know, it has been all day, we're used to it now. But talk to me about your favourite bits of the day.
I loved it there when they came across, that was good.
Viva Maria, Regina di Fatima. Tu Regina nostra, Madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne se degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, Regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù, accogli la nostra preghiera, Regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a 3 pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli, esaudici, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o Regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi, proteggi il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi, ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o Regina di Fatima, Regina della famiglia, che parlasti a 3 pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei Regina. Proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, Regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, O regina del Portogallo, Portogallo, prega per noi. Viva Maria, regina di Fatima. Tu, regina nostra, madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne se degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù accogli la nostra preghiera, regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a tre pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli esaudisci, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi, proteggi il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi, ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o regina di Fatima, regina della famiglia, che parlasti a tre pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei regina. Proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, o regina del Portogallo, Portogallo, prega per noi. Viva Maria, regina di Fatima. Tu, regina nostra, madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne se degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù accogli la nostra preghiera, regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a tre pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli esaudisci, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi, proteggi il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi, ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o regina di Fatima, regina della famiglia, che parlasti a tre pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei regina. Proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, o regina del Portogallo, prega per noi. Viva Maria, regina di Fatima, tu regina nostra, madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne e degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù accogli la nostra preghiera, regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a tre pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli, esaudisci, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o Regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi, proteggi il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi, ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o Regina di Fatima, Regina della famiglia, che parlasti a 3 pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei Regina. Proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, Regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, o Regina del Portogallo, prega per noi. Viva Maria, Regina di Fatima, tu Regina nostra, Madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne e degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, Regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù accogli la nostra preghiera, Regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a 3 pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli, esaudisci, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o Regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi, proteggi il Papa, il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o Regina di Fatima, Regina della famiglia, che parlasti a 3 pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei Regina. Proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, Regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, o Regina del Portogallo, prega per noi. Viva Maria, Regina di Fatima, tu Regina nostra, Madre di Dio e di Gesù, prega per noi, accogli le nostre preghiere degne e degne. Ave Maria di Fatima, Regina del Portogallo del mondo, noi ti preghiamo, accogli le nostre preghiere, le nostre invocazioni, accogli i nostri preghiere, fai che il Dio e Gesù accogli la nostra preghiera, Regina di Fatima e del Portogallo, che hai parlato a 3 pastorelli, accogli la nostra preghiera. Accogli, esaudici, avvocata nostra degli ultimi, tu sei avvocata degli ultimi. Accogli le nostre preghiere, o Regina del Portogallo e della Chiesa universale. Proteggi noi. Proteggi il Papa Francesco, proteggi noi ti preghiamo. Proteggi, o Regina di Fatima, Regina della famiglia, che parlasti a 3 pastorelli, Giacinta, Francesco e Lucia, chiedendo la pace al mondo intero. Regina, tu sei dei cuori dei credenti, tu sei Regina. proteggi noi e il Papa e ogni credente, illumina i sacerdoti, illumina i sacerdoti e i vescovi, proteggi noi figli tuoi. Noi ti preghiamo, Regina, che tutto puoi, guida col tuo amore la tua e nostra Chiesa e il Papa che vive nel mondo evangelizzandolo. Noi ti preghiamo, o Regina del Portogallo, Portogallo, prega per noi.